Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord, Chris Sale. And every day that Chris Sale toes the rubber is quickly becoming, and I think I speak for all of Braves country, the best day of the entire week, because not only are the numbers just absolutely outstanding when you take out the first couple starts of the season and really for the entire year, 2.54 ERA, 2.45 FIP, and then he strikes out over 11 batters behind. But the stuff is just fun to watch. It's very Strider-esque in that it's sexy to watch. Like the strikeouts are insane. The sliders are insane. The fastball is insane. The stuff is just like one of those guys that you pay to watch. Like it's like pay-per-view, and the Braves fans are lucky enough to see it every 5 days. And it's funny because we talked about this guy. It was joked about him being the team's fourth starter. Now Spencer Strider is down. He is more than capable of being the ace of this staff. And I know we talk about Max Fried, but he can lead this staff. I don't know if they're going to limit his innings. He hasn't pitched but 31 starts since 2019. So you have to think they're going to do something. But if they just let this thing ride, I mean, this is like a oh crap. Like he might win the NL Cy Young. Like this is a guy that, when healthy, 2012 to 2018, was arguably the best pitcher in all of baseball. 7 straight All-Stars, never finished out of the top 6 of the AL Cy Young race. Now, never won the award, but still that kind of consistency, 7 straight years in the top 6. That's going to be probably the best pitcher in baseball over that stretch. And if he keeps doing this for the Braves, you can pencil him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch. That's for one. Some pitchers just get it done in an ugly manner. Bryce Elder, when he gets the job done, generally speaking, it's a lot of soft contact. It's not as sexy, to your point, as somebody like Chris Sale or Spencer Strider. So first of all, it's a joy to watch. Second of all, the Red Sox are paying him his entire salary this year, which is just absolutely hilarious. And it just goes to show once again that it's worked out for the Braves and Alex Anthopoulos. This move that, some people were skeptical about, and they were skeptical, I think, for the wrong reasons. They kept pointing to the injuries that were not arm related. They were these obscure injuries, the ATV or dirt bike accident, whatever that was, a comebacker, broke a finger or a leg or something, whatever. And they were concerned for all the wrong reasons. And to Chase's point, we could talk about load management down the road, but for right now, every 5th day, we get to see arguably the best pitcher on earth. And that's how he's pitching, is one of the best pitchers on earth. And outside of obviously the production value he's giving the Braves, it's been an absolute joy to watch him regain his form. That's Cy Young form.
I don't know how Red Sox fans are feeling today, but I imagine it has to be a pit in their stomach. And this is kind of the fear that they had when they traded him away, because they saw what he was capable of being. That 2018 year, early year Chris Sales when he was with the Red Sox. I think it was 2018, 2019. He had a couple very good years for the Red Sox before Tommy John surgery. And then, a lot of peculiar injuries. This was his first healthy offseason in 5 years, and damn does it look like it. But you got to look sick, because think about what you got Chris Sale for. I mean, literally they're paying the entirety of his salary. And actually, if you think about Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez, I'm almost positive Ronaldo Lopez's entire contract is backloaded. I think the Braves are paying cash this year to those two guys around $5 million. Yeah. That's absurd. A guy with a 1.34 ERA. Like if you were doing a top 5 in the NL Cy Young race now, both those guys are in the top 5, at worst top 6, top 7, because there are some other guys having some good years. But it's just absurd. I mean, they're paying the entirety of this contract, and all it cost you was Vaughn Grissom. And then, of course, not only we do that, before any of this happens, we extend him. Like we extend him for another year. Could you imagine if Chris Sale had gone out there and had this season and you didn't do that? Now you might have him for 3 years looking like this. And that rotation that you were kind of really worried about, you got Chris Sale, you got Spencer Strider coming back from injury. Hell, who knows? Charlie Morton could be back. I mean, Charlie Morton's out there pitching like he's ready to pitch another season.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Strider injury aside, this rotation, it is very clear what Alex Anthopoulos' vision was. And it seems he's hit on every single one. Nobody saw the Strider injury coming, not Alex Anthopoulos. But in terms of the variables, which Chris Sale, Ronaldo Lopez, he's hit on those. And I don't even know if hit is the right word. I mean, those two have passed the test with flying colors thus far. It's a long season. I'm not going to, ready to crown anybody world champions or anything. But thus far, they've answered the bell in spades. And I think it just goes to show. I said this at the beginning of the season, and it's obviously not going to come to fruition now. Had this rotation stayed healthy, we were going to be talking about this rotation in the same light as we were talking about the Braves lineup last year. I'm talking all-time great stuff. And thus far, had Spencer Strider not gone down with an injury, I feel I would hit the nail right on the head. I mean, we are talking about Charlie Morton as the fourth starter, Ronaldo, or probably fifth starter if we're talking about in terms of production, and Chris Sale as your third starter. That's absolutely ridiculous, and it's clear what Alex Anthopoulos' vision was.
Yeah, I mean, as the way people have pitched this year, and it probably wouldn't have happened. But let's say Spencer Strider looked like we all expect him to look like and was healthy this entire season,
or even slightly worse.
No. I mean, I don't think he would have looked worse because his numbers have always been better than what his ERA suggests. But let's just say he was an all-star like we all expected. Maybe not win the NL Cy Young, but let's say he was an all-star. Like, that guy's going to the All-Star game. Max Fried very well might go to the All-Star game. Chris Sale definitely looks like he's going to the All-Star game. Ronaldo Lopez definitely looks like he's going to the All-Star game. Charlie Morton has a case as your fifth starter to be, or fourth or fifth, whatever you want to call him, to be going to the All-Star. I mean, you're right. It would have been 5 guys that had all good cases. Now, would they put 5 guys? But it is very reminiscent of the Braves' entire starting infield last year starting in the All-Star game. You could have had the entire starting rotation starting in the All-Star game. And what's crazy is, without them, they're one of the best rotations in baseball, but there's also a lot of other rotations that you're looking around, and just credit to them. I'm talking about the Phillies having a great year pitching the ball, and the Seattle Mariners have a great year pitching the ball, that they might not even be the best, but in a typical year, this could easily be your best rotation. Let's talk about the offense, because Jameson Taillon had been pitched very, very, very well. They came out, Matt Olson, 2 hits, big home run, 2 extra base hits, first time since April 5th. Ozuna gets another hit. Zach Short gets another hit. 7 runs against a guy who's been pitching very well. It was nice to see. It was refreshing. I feel like it's been forever since we scored 6 runs.
Yeah, finally the offense seems to be waking up, and it was only a matter of time. Only morons were freaking out, thinking the sky was falling, because Matt Olson's peripherals always suggested something was coming. They all the fan graphs, all that stuff. It was this exact same underlying metrics as last year when he set the franchise record for home runs. It was only a matter of time. Ronald Acuna is coming around. He's hitting the absolute piss out of the ball. It just hasn't, it's found gloves more often than grass, and his time is coming. They're both going to explode. Austin Riley, good injury update. Looks like there won't be an IL stint when he comes back. Hopefully he finds that flow that he was, kind of getting in a groove. All is right in the world in Braves country, because this rotation is top 5 in baseball. The bullpen looks great. As long as this offense comes around, I know everybody is talking about the Phillies right now, NL East lead. They've been really, really good, but the Braves are coming. And down the stretch, when the schedules start to kind of even out, as some might say, we're going to be talking about the Braves a lot.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Phillies, you got to give the Phillies credits for going 30-13. I mean, when you look at a lot of the teams and what's kind of made the Braves be able to pull away with this division, it has been other teams struggling with these bottom feeders and stuff like that, maybe having a 500 record against the Marlins. The Phillies are taking care of business, but I have to say, I have never once in my life, and I don't keep track of other teams' schedules, so it might have happened. But if you look at the Phillies schedule, they played 40 straight games against teams that are at 500 or worse, and most of them are, the bottom feeders, the Rockies, the Marlins, teams like that. And then if you look forward, they don't play a team that is over 500 right now until June 4th, I believe, in the Milwaukee Brewers. That's 2 full months, over 2 full months of baseball against below 500 teams. I don't think that has ever happened in my life. I can't imagine that that's happened. I mean, it's just, and I'm not blaming the Phillies. They're doing what they're doing.
Pick your schedule.
The schedules are going to even out, and they deserve credit for playing good baseball. Going 30-13 in this league should always deserve credit. It's impossible to win that many games and not be playing great baseball. But I'm more of just pointing out the shock factor and the fact that they have played 40 straight games currently and have 15 more. So basically a third of their season against teams below 500. That's somewhat absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd. And, schedules do even out. That's just the nature of the beast. And to the Phillies' credit, you can only beat who's in front of you, and they are taking care of the teams that you should take care of. And that's not a given in baseball, because baseball has got a certain factor of randomness in it where, some teams just have some teams' numbers, and sometimes some guys just don't show up to certain parks. So you got to give them credit. Give credit where credit's due. The Phillies are hot, but the Braves are coming.
Yeah, without a doubt they're coming. I mean, this schedule really turns up once we get into July and after the All-Star break for the Phillies.